Show is called Saturday Morning Q. In about 18 minutes, we're going to give way to Saturday Afternoon Q, but not before we introduce you to another one-day-only priced item. Brett Hamilton is back with us, one of our electronic experts. Let me tell you, if you have an area of your home right now where you have internet dead spots, think about it. Is it the basement? Is it that upstairs bedroom on the far corner of the house? Maybe it's your back patio, and as soon as you walk out there with your tablet, you lose internet completely. What if we could offer you something that works alongside your existing router that will blast the whole house with an enhanced Wi-Fi signal, so now no more dead spots?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest complaint. People spend all that money for Wi-Fi, and you always hear the cable companies and the Wi-Fi people, you're going to get the fastest internet, you're going to get the fastest, but what happens if it gets into your house and you don't have access to it? And as David just pointed out, no matter whether you live in an apartment, a townhouse, a larger house, there are spots where the Wi-Fi signal simply can't reach. You've got your router, in most cases, buried, either behind a couch or you've got it up in a bedroom so somebody can't see it. Well, look at this. You put your router wherever you want, and you get part of the house. You get part of the coverage. What if you add the Almond? The Almond's green. Green is good because the Almond router will then talk to your existing router and cover all the spots that it can't. I'll say that again. You've got your router. Your router, which is in blue there, brings the internet into your home. And then you all have your tablets and your devices and stuff. And you're like, great, in the living room I have a signal. But as you see here, once you move up to the bedroom, once you move out back, if you're in the garage doing a project, you don't have any sort of Wi-Fi signal unless you add a booster. That's essentially what this is. It's called a range extender. But the Almond router does more than that. We'll get to that in a second. But the main reason I think people pick something like this up is because they want Wi-Fi everywhere. They don't want to have to go, I can only use it in the kitchen, and I can only use it in one bedroom.
Correct.
You want to be able to use it everywhere. So we're going to give you a device that will solve that problem.
Now, in addition to the boost, we're also going to give you 2 plugs. Now, there's an app that you're going to download onto your smartphone or your tablet, and when you use these 2 plugs, whatever you've got plugged into them, you can turn those on and off from your app.
From anywhere.
So let's say you plug in your lamp.
Yep.
You plug in your coffee maker. You plug in something in there, and you leave the house and you're like, oh boy, did I turn off the lamp in the living room? No worries. You're sitting at a red light on your way to work. You open your app up and you're like, oh, I did leave it on. Click, it turns it off for you thanks to this whole setup. Now, if you were to go to retail to buy this router booster and the 2 plugs, $169.61 is what you could expect to pay for all of it. We're doing all of it at a one-day-only price of $89.94 and 4 easy payments on the credit card. Now, Brett, everything you just told us makes perfect sense.
Okay.
But how hard is it to set this up? Because I think for a lot of people, if they can't do it easily, then all the other stuff's not worth it, right?
And I don't blame them, because before we even get to the setup, this also works as a router. So if you don't like the router that you have, if you've got a router that you're renting from the cable company, that, again, the router is the way that you get your Wi-Fi into your home. This can also take the place of this. So it can be a router or a range extender, not both at the same time. But as David said, if you don't know how to work it, if it's not easy to set up, nobody wants it, right? We all get frustrated. Typical routers look like this. It's a black box. It's got an antenna sticking out of the top. You're like,
some blinking lights, right?
What, if the light's blinking, is that good? Is it bad? Most people don't know how to work a router. That's what's amazing about Almond, the very first touchscreen router ever introduced, and it walks you right through it. From start to finish, it's about 3 minutes. You tap into the wireless settings, you go inside and you decide, am I going to make this a range extender for better service, or am I going to use it as a router? And in less than 3 minutes, you've picked a password. You can share that password if you choose to people that come over instead of trying to remember what it was. And again, being able to use it to extend the range of the Wi-Fi in your home. And as David said, also being able to turn devices on and off. But for most people, it's all about being able to use your tablet anywhere.
So your existing router is downstairs, but upstairs you have no signal.
Yep.
You add the Almond, and now the entire house is covered. Here is another look at an existing router. You add the Almond, and boom, the whole house is now covered because you've boosted the Wi-Fi signal throughout the entire home. Imagine now never dropping internet no matter where you are in the house.
Yeah, and that's the biggest complaint. People say, I pay you that money. They said it's the fastest. They said it's the best coverage. Well, it's limited by the router that you have in your home. And unfortunately, the cable company is usually renting you or selling you an antiquated router. So you introduce the Almond, and no matter where you are, the 2 are talking together. And I get this question a lot. So how do they work with the existing router? How does this talk to my router? And it's as simple as turning on the device, going into the settings, and then inside the settings, you'll see your existing router. Okay, you'll see whatever it's called. So at David's house, it's called David's Wi-Fi or whatever it might be.
Right, right.
You'll go onto the screen and you'll see David's Wi-Fi, and you'll simply click onto that. This wirelessly talks to your existing router. So now it's like having two routers, but they're both on the same Wi-Fi. So then, move out back. You can go out to the front yard. You can go down into the basement. You can go to wherever the Wi-Fi wasn't before and now be able to use it instead of saying, okay, I can only leave my computer in one room. I can only use my tablets in a couple rooms. I can only use the gaming device, whatever it is that we connect to Wi-Fi. Because more and more and more devices get introduced into the house, so they're not all sitting in one room. That's what's magic about this touchscreen. We give you a little stylus as well. You can jump through here and use all the features, but one of the really cool features goes along with the app that comes with it.
And as we get ready to show that, I will tell you now 350 of these are gone. Everybody's loving that Easy Pay, and everyone's loving the fact that this works with iPhones, it works with Android, it also works with some Amazon products as well in terms of that app. Is that right?
Well, no, this will work with any devices at all. You're thinking of the SanDisk.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You're right. So this will work with every device that's out there.
That's right.
The app will.
Exactly. Yeah. So you download the app, and this is just a little bonus for you, but this is the beginning. We hear about smart homes. We hear about smart hubs. We hear about being able to turn your thermostat up and down remotely, turning on and off products and stuff like that. So as David said earlier, how many times have you left the house? You're like, did I turn off? And in my case, my wife always says, turn the car around. Did I turn the hair straightener off? It's up in the bathroom. She always does turn it off. But now we don't have to worry about it anymore. You download the app, okay?
And you plug the item into your what's called a peanut plug.
Yeah,
and we give you 2 of them.
Yeah, these little peanut switches then synchronize with the app on your phone. Now the app on your phone essentially becomes the plugs. It becomes the switches on your lights. So we've got a couple. Oh, he's taking off the shade.
I'm taking off the shade so you can see this bulb because our studio lights are so bright. Look at this.
Right. So here we go. You're driving around. You realize you forgot to turn lights on, your house is dark, you don't want to come home to a dark home. You open up the app, anywhere in the world, you hit the button,
boom,
and the light comes on.
And anywhere else in the world, as long as you have an internet connection, oh my gosh, forgot to turn out the lamp or the hairdryer or the iron or the coffee maker. Boom, hit the switch on the app, it turns on and off. Now, Brett's standing right beside it, but you don't need to be. He could be in another state. He could be in another country. As long as he's got internet connection, right?
Right. And now this is just the beginning because you can add motion detectors, you can add flood sensors, you can add essentially building your own security system for your house. So you could put the door sensors and know remotely if somebody's entered your home, know if somebody's passed the motion detector. We're giving you the smart plug so that you can get a feel for what the home and the smart hub is all about.
You could expect to pay $37.45 for each peanut plug if you bought them separately. You could expect to pay $94.71 for just the Almond router and the internet booster. We're going to give you both peanut plugs and the router for $89.94. If sold separately, this would be nearly $170. We've got it on 4 easy payments. Let's take a look at that video or the animation again, guys, because I think for most everybody who's listening today, you have some kind of router in your home right now, and you also have parts of the house where you have dead spots. That's the existing router, and that's its coverage. When you add the Almond, which is what this is, the entire house is covered. There's the existing router, add the Almond, and now the whole house is being sprayed with internet signal.
Yeah, and for those of you wondering, how do I decide where to put the Almond router, how much as far as proximity, just put it so that the two can speak to each other, and you'll see that in the settings, and I want to show you quickly how easy it is to do that. So when you turn it on, all you have to do essentially, oh, sorry.
There we are.
All you have to do essentially is go through and pick the wizard. There's the magic button. The start will decide whether or not you're going to use it as a range extender or as a router. If you want to use this as a router, you're tired of paying the cable company to rent a router, you can use it to replace that. Or, as David was just mentioning, the range extender.
And most people today, I think, are buying this as a range extender or booster.
Yeah.
And that's super easy because then they just talk to each other wirelessly.
They do. And there's what our Wi-Fi is called in the studio. It's called Live Show Demo. So if that's David's Wi-Fi, it's Brett's Wi-Fi, in this case, Live Show Demo. All it is clicking onto that. This will then talk to your existing Wi-Fi. I'll say that again. The router that you already have will then speak to this. You put this somewhere else in your house where you still have the bars, where you still see the green. Then magically, those dead spots that were there before, the places where you couldn't use your tablet, where you couldn't use your computer, now all of a sudden have access to that Wi-Fi that you're paying so much money for.
So basically, you take this out of the box, you plug it into the wall, you tap the little touch screen, it recognizes your Wi-Fi signal, you join it, and you have it communicate with the other router simply with the touch of a button. and then you're in.
Yep.
You're immediately going to understand, oh my gosh, now I'm getting Wi-Fi up in my upstairs bedroom. Now I'm getting it in the downstairs finished basement. I'm getting it on the back patio. I'm getting it on the back deck where I'm out enjoying some sun, but would also like to occasionally jump on the internet on my phone or tablet. This is why you pick this up. In addition to the router, we're giving you the 2 peanut plugs. You download a free app on your phone or tablet. You plug whatever you want to in your house. These are 3-prong plugs, so you can even do things like coffee makers, what have you. Put them in there, and you leave the house, and you're like, oh my gosh, did I unplug the iron? I don't remember. Go onto your app. It'll show you whether it's on or off, and if it's on, you simply click a button on the app, and it shuts off whatever's plugged in here. We're giving you 2 of those plugs, plus the router, all for less than $90. How many are gone now, Stan? 1,000 of these are gone, 200 people waiting to place an order. So whether it's a lamp, whether it's an iron, your coffee maker, your wife's hair straightener, whatever that case may be, now you've got a way to have some peace of mind when you're not at home.
Yeah, and it's as simple as downloading the app. Doesn't matter which type of device you have. You can work it off of a tablet. You can work it off of a phone. And as David said, plug in anything you want. Then am I coming home to a dark house? I'm not, because all I had to do was tap the app. You see the light right here. You tap the app. The light goes on. The light goes off. I've got another light over here. Turn it on, turn it off. Doesn't have to be lights. As David said, any appliance that will plug into the smart plug can be remotely turned on and off from anywhere in the world.
And if you can plug one plug into the wall, you're halfway home with your brand new Securifi Almond touchscreen Wi-Fi router and range extender. We are also including the 2 smart plugs. Those are $37.45 each at retail. We're including both of those and the router. All this sold separately would be nearly $170. We've got it at $89 and change, 4 easy payments on the credit card, and now everybody is enjoying extended Wi-Fi coverage throughout their home, and also some great peace of mind when you can turn things on and off remotely. Brett, we've got one more item with you.
We do. SanDisk.
Great way to harvest all those photos off your phone, have a place to store them until you're ready to print them off or upload them to your computer. So we'll tell you about that coming up. In the meantime, we're going to check in with Kirsten, who's got some other goodies coming your way, and then I've got another one-day only priced item just around the bend.